Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Wealth Whisperer podcast. I am your host and financial wellness money coach Erin.Moran, and today we're going to be chatting all things winter on a budget, staying warm, cozy and financially wise. Let's get into it. Wintertime. Some of us, I know, really love wintertime, but some of us stress about coming into wintertime and being concerned about, the heating costs, the extra heating costs. We eat more during winter because our bodies burn more trying to keep warm and all the rest of it. And we've got 1 month left of autumn. And then, June, July, August, we've got our winter months. It's a good thing I know numbers because I don't know much else. So June, July, August are our winter months. And since it can get quite chilly across Australia, it's really good to know how to keep your home warm and how to keep yourself warm, and some great little food hacks as well that'll keep your tum-tums warm and happy as well. Let's start with the financially friendly ways to keep the house warm. So first off, you can look at sealing any drafts. We used to have these things when I was a kid out in country New South Wales. It used to get really cold, like -7 it used to get. And we used to have these things called carpet snakes. I don't know what you would call them now, but basically it's a long, almost like a pillow. I think it's filled with sand, and you would put it against the door. So the bottom of the door, like a door snake or something like that, they would call them, and it would stop the draft. So this is great for doors like the laundry door is a big one. That would always have a big draft. The front door, if it doesn't have the seal down the bottom of it, all those sort of back doors, those sorts of things that would have a draft, they're great for those sorts of things. It stops all of the hot air getting sucked out through those drafts. You can also insulate with curtains as well. So I did this when I moved into my old place. I hung all the curtains myself, and I did double curtains. So I did the really light chiffony ones for summertime, and then the winter curtains would be, tied up on the sides, looking all pretty. And then during winter, the winter curtains would come over, and they would offer that second layer of support to stop the heat leaving the house and going out through the windows. I had quite large windows. If you already have curtains hung up and you don't have a double rail, you can always look at just lining your existing curtains. Get the sewing machine out. We can do it by hand and just tacking on some extra support on the back of those curtains and just giving them some extra lining, making them nice and thick and thermal and all the rest of it. The next thing you can do is maximize the sun. So my mother used to do this. When the sun would come up, she'd open up the big curtains and let the sun come in and heat the house up naturally. And then once the sun was starting to go down, all the curtains had to be closed in the house, and that kept the heat inside. You can do reverse ceiling fans. So if you've got the option to be able to spin them the other way, so that pushes the warm air down and back into the room. And then you can rug it up as well. If you have floorboards, for example, I've got floorboards here, I put down rugs. So when it's winter time, I put down rugs, and it just keeps that, one, it stops the floor from being cold when you step on it. But two, it adds an extra little bit of insulation and stops the heat from escaping through the floorboards or the tiles. Another thing you can do is close off your unused rooms. It's a very basic one, this one, but we do tend to forget, and sometimes with kids they can drive you bonkers because they leave all the doors open to the bathrooms and the laundry and all those sorts of things. So shutting the doors is really important. It helps you concentrate the warmth where you actually are and makes it much more efficient. If you've got the split system air conditionings as well, where you can zone off different areas, that zoning is so good. It's such a great investment because you can really just heat the areas that you want. Let's talk comfort eating. So we've got some recipes here to share with you, and these recipes will feed a family of 5, generously portioned as well, so you can stretch it out for some leftovers for lunch the next day. And this is all under $20. So let's start with some soups. So you've got the classic vegetable soup, we've got some mixed frozen veggies, the canned diced tomatoes, some stock cubes, a brown onion, and 500 grams of pasta. You can get the shells or the macaroni is great for that. All of that together is $7.60 if you're shopping either the home brand or at Aldi. And you've got the option of adding something like the 500 gram beef mince too, which is $6.50 from Coles. So you're still under budget there, but a nice, easy, classic vegetable soup for $7.60. Then you have the pumpkin soup. This is great comfort food. So you've got a butternut pumpkin, 600 mils of thickened cream, a brown onion, chicken stock, liquid, about a litre, and then a bread loaf as well, obviously for dipping. And all of that, if you shop the home brand or Aldi, the home brand from Coles, I should be saying, or from Aldi, is $9.90. What about some roast ideas? We all love the smell of a roast during winter. You got so let's start with the chickens. You've got a Coles RSPCA approved chicken, 1 kilo of carrots, 1 kilo of potatoes, and a gravy powder packet that you can mix together, and that is $13.30. I mean, it really doesn't cost a lot to put some of these meals together. You just shop whatever veggies are on special and are cost effective. And then what about some pasta dishes? Spag bowl, we all love that one. A 500 gram beef mince, your pasta spaghetti. The Dolmio pasta sauce is a beautiful one. You don't have to do a lot with that. It's already got loads of flavors in it. A brown onion, or for me I have red onion because it's better on my tum-tum. And then the garlic bread, and that totals $14.70. That feeds 5 easily. I mean, I've done something like this in the past. I've made myself about 7 or 8 meals from it, so you can have plenty of leftovers for lunch the next day. And then a yummy creamy tuna pasta bake. You start with your pasta spirals. You get your tuna cans in the spring waters. You get 2 of the really big ones, 600 mils of milk, or you can do less milk than that and some cream as well if you want it a bit creamier. Home brand cheese, 250 grams of that, and some frozen peas. Sometimes I'll have some corn left over as well. That totals $16.40, and that makes heaps of servings. It's amazing. So remember, shopping home brand or Aldi. And then 1 pot stews. You've got a sausage and veggie stew. We used to have this a lot when we were kids. So beef sausages, 1 kilo of mixed frozen veggies, canned diced tomatoes, some stock cubes, and a bag of rice as well. So you just cook the rice. I think it's 1/4 of a cup is enough for each person. I think that's how it works it out to be. And that works out to be $12.80. And it's comfort food in one single pot. So there's some amazing recipes that you can do. Use things like AI. Even if you want to, if you're so tired at the end of the day that you can't even really think about what would be a great meal, just stick it into your AI and go, right, I have $20 and I need to feed a family of however many, 5, 6, whatever it is. I will put Coles as my base, whatever shop you use, and it will get the prices from online immediately. And you go use Coles as the base for pricing and put together a recipe for me. And that will just give you some inspiration. Use what's available to you, the technology. It can be an absolute game changer for you. And I can't wait to have some of these beautiful, yummy comfort foods. Winter can be an expensive season for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons it can get quite expensive is because when we're cold, tired, and we're craving a bit of comfort, sometimes our impulse spending will spike. So whether it's with online shopping or we just get a takeaway meal because we don't want to get out of the warm car and walk around the freezer section of Coles because it's freezing. Those things start to pop up. So the key here is awareness. Awareness transforms mindless spending into mindful choices. It brings the unconscious spending back into your conscious mind. So when you feel the urge to spend, ask yourself, am I trying to buy comfort, or could I create this feeling a different way? And one of the things that I do is I leave the phone in a different room. I'll go put it on charge somewhere else. So if I'm going to do a binge session on Netflix or Disney or whatever, because I just want to get snuggled up under a blanket with a cup of tea, I don't want to use that time to end up spending money that I normally wouldn't have spent. So I just put it into another room and remove the temptation. But what are some activities that you can do during winter that aren't going to break the bank? So you can do your home movie nights. You can do things like classic 90s. I was doing this for a little while. I was doing classic 80s movies. God, there are some wild ones. So maybe check the content if you've got kids and things like that, because they were a little bit crazy back in the 80s and the 90s. You can visit your local library. We used to do this as kids, and we'd go and get our books, the Enid Blyton books, the Famous Five, and all that sort of stuff. And we'd have book nights. We would have we'd share stories and all sorts of things. Then you've got your free community events. So that'll be on your local council pages or your local Facebook groups. They'll chat about any winter festivals that might be going on or any free local sports events. I mean, that would be lovely to take the family down and support your local team. Then you've got autumn picnics. Loved this growing up. We would go to a place called Mount Wilson, which was it the Blue Mountains? I want to say it was out near that way. I can't even remember now. Mount Wilson, it was stunning during autumn. The leaves would turn into like mahogany and reds and oranges and yellows and just these amazing different colours, and we play in the leaves, we go walnut picking, all sorts of different things, and it was all for free. So you can just bring things like a thermos of hot chocolate, take a football with you, kick the football around, all sorts of things, let the kids run around, and you can just enjoy nature for $0. You can do things like the cooking together, so getting the family together to cook, or get friends together and share recipes and all those sorts of things that we just used to do, and now because of stupid streaming services we just sit on the bloody lounges and just watch garbage TV for hours and hours and hours on end, instead of doing these really wholesome activities that we used to do. Some other things you can do, some fun activities, is footy nights at home. I'm a big footy fan. I love it. The NRL and the AFL. I won't tell you what teams I go for because they're not doing all that well at the moment. But you can throw on your jersey, get the kids involved, whip up a bit of a footy feed, just get the whole family involved. My parents used to hate it when I was a kid, because if I ever got into trouble, which I did quite a bit when I was a kid, they used to punish me by not allowing me to watch the local football, the NRL games, right? So I would sit on the kitchen bench facing away from the television, and my mother would sit across from me to make sure that I wasn't cheating and turning around and seeing what was on the TV. And just from what I could hear, I could call out, what was going on, and I knew exactly what was going on. So then I'd be banned to be outside during the footy game, so I wasn't allowed to even hear what was going on. So one day I took the keys to the car and I sat in the car and I was listening to Ray Hadley and the Continuous Call team for the 2 hours. And I flattened the car battery and we lived in the middle of nowhere, so it wasn't like we could just ask the neighbour to come and jumpstart the car for us. So anyway, after that, they gave up trying to ban me from football, and I found other things to do. But they're great fun, footy nights at home. And then winter walks, you just stick on your beanie, get a nice hot coffee, get some friends together and walk around, take the dogs with you. It's a great activity to get everything moving, getting everything warm again. And then obviously there's those cozy nights at home where you can do winter magic, which is roasting your marshmallows and those little fire pits that you can pick up from Bunnings really cheaply. When I was a kid, we used to do stargazing out the back. Our grandparents used to just pack us little sandwiches and juices, and we would go out on the front lawn, turn all the lights off in the house, and we just sit and watch the stars. We were very lucky that we lived on acreage, and we had all the sky to be able to see. We'd watch for satellites and shooting stars and all sorts of different things. You can do you can do outback camping. So backyard camping. We've done that as well. So much fun that you can do with winter magic nights, and all financially friendly. And then if you want to traumatize your kids, there's board games. You can whip out the old Monopoly and the Cluedo and all the rest of it. You got to give your kids something to complain about when they're an adult, right? You got to give them something. Throwing the Monopoly board across the room because somebody else got Park Lane and Mayfair. Those sorts of memories. That's what you want to get. As the colder months roll in, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking we need to spend more to feel warm, entertained, or comforted. But the truth is, the richest moments often cost the least. Whether it's a homemade soup bubbling away on the stove, or a family game night without the screens, or wrapping up in a blanket while watching the footy together, these are the things that build connection and long-term financial abundance. So as you head into winter, I challenge you to slow down, get intentional, and find joy in the little things, because that's where the real wealth is. So thanks for tuning in. If this episode gave you something to think about or smile about, hopefully, feel free to share it with a mate or someone trying to stay on track with their finances this winter. Have an amazing week. I will be back again next Wednesday for another episode of the Wealth Whisperer podcast. So stay warm, and remember, you can always reach out to me directly for any personal questions for your own finances at Erin.Moran at stallionfinancialgroup.com.au. You can also follow me on socials at Stallion Financial Group, and then there's my personal one, which is Erin.Moran Money Coach. Thanks so much, everyone. I'll chat to you soon. Bye.